Video Science, Wetlands, with Mr. Jaffe. Step into any wetland, and you'd be ready for one thing: water. Water is what makes a wetland a wetland. And here we see a freshwater wetland with some trees and all kinds of vegetation on the sides. Over here we see another kind of wetland with trees, and as I walk along, I search for small animals. One has to be careful when stepping through wetland because it's very easy to fall in. Walking along these fallen trees, there are lots of things to look closely for in the water, which has a lot of dead leaves in it. As I step off the log, I look for small amphibians and other smaller animals that might be hiding amidst the water. In another part of the wetland, we find some birds that are using it for a place to eat and for shelter. Over here, a blackbird may be searching for something underneath the water. And in this part of the wetland, we see two ducks, a pair, a male and female mallard duck, searching for vegetation. It's very important to be very quiet when moving through a wetland, because you can notice a lot of animals. Here we notice that the male duck has seen us and is now moving over towards the female. All the animals that live in the wetland depend on the wetland for survival, and it's very important that the water moves through the wetland. Here we see a spotted salamander. Why does the salamander have yellow spots? A lot of scientists think it could be because the salamander doesn't taste good to animals that might want to eat it. We're very careful to put the spotted salamander back underneath the log we found it, especially with amphibians who want to be very careful. Here we see the spotted coloration of the spotted salamander. Another salamander was found in the wetlands. This is a woodland salamander called the red-backed salamander. It has a different body shape and a red stripe, and sometimes brown or blackish stripe, or even lead-colored, that could run along its back. These salamanders also eat invertebrates, but smaller ones than the spotted salamander. Here we see the water flowing through the wetland, and you can notice a lot of new plants in the springtime coming up. This is what keeps the water in this wetland clean. Another animal is using the pool as well. Here is a female bullfrog. She's probably looking for insects that might be close to the water's edge. Next to her, you can see some Phragmites reeds growing. When it's time to get away, the bullfrog knows what to do. Splash! Let's watch that again. Using her strong back legs, the bullfrog's able to escape, but she shouldn't hop too far because she should look for insects that might be around, like these ants. All of the plants that grow naturally in New York's wetlands are all very well adapted or very good at living where there is a lot of water and a lot of sunlight and open area. Let's look at some ways that the city is using wetland plants to help when there's too much water. It's called drainage, and these plants are very good at living in areas where there's a lot of water. The water would normally fall on the sidewalk, go into the street, and go into the storm drain. That's for rainwater. But sometimes there's too much rainwater, and this is a good way to try and work out a solution. Let's look at some of the plants. All the plants in this rain garden are very good at living in lots of sunlight. This plant here is called mint, and you can see the flowers at the top. You can see the leaves. You can look at the way the bunches are and the way the leaves are shaped. You can always identify mint. You can also break some off, and you can smell it. It smells nice and minty. I'm not going to eat it because this is a plant that grows in the street. Now look over here. We have a little shrub that's got some woody stems here and some very green leaves that are new, that are just growing. Over here we have another shrub that has some waxier leaves. It's got a shine to them. A lot of plants that live out in bright sunlight have this kind of waxy shine. It helps protect them from losing water. And up at the top of the structure, you can see some flowers that haven't opened yet. If you look at the whole garden all the way down, you can see some of the white flowers that have opened up, and those are going to attract insects. So not only does it help with drainage, having these wetland plants here, but it also helps to attract wildlife. Pretty cool. We'll see you next time on Video Science. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Scrambles, do you like science?